What is up guys, it's your boy Gunsoww and welcome back to an actual quick tip. What is up guys, it's your boy Gunsoww and welcome back to an actual quick tip. As you can see from the title, today I'm actually going to show you guys how to make sure that your beat slash track slash song slash my ass isn't phasing, meaning that it's gonna be somewhat in the middle in the stereo spectrum. You'll see what I mean in a second, but before that I actually have a quick announcement to make as well. Y'all remember my Discord server, right? Well, that's old news because we have a new one. That's right, we opened a new Discord server and you can join it by using the link in the description, and if you actually join it, that's the best way of actually getting in contact with me. If you want to talk to me, if you want to, I don't know, interact with me and my friends, Discord is the way to go. So join it. Link in the description. Anyways, so as you can see, we're inside of FL Studio. The DAW doesn't really matter in this case. It's mostly just about the plugin. About that, there's a paid version and a free version of what I'm actually going to show you. You know, you can decide whether to use the paid one or the free one. It's really up to you. As you can see, we have two tracks. The first track is actually the song that I posted yesterday, and we'll be comparing it with a track that I produced around 2 years ago, back when I didn't know what stereo phasing was and all those kind of things. So it's a good way to kind of get an idea on what I'm actually going to show you guys today. Those two plugins that I was talking about are Ozone 9 or 8 and Ozone Imager. You've probably seen them before, you've definitely seen them in one of my videos. Ozone from Isotope is a really good plugin for you know, mastering and everything, but I mostly use it for imaging, making sure that nothing is phasing. And they have a free version of it on their website called Ozone Imager. So what I'll do is basically just play both tracks. These are the default settings of both plugins. It's not gonna affect the master in any way, but it's just gonna show you the difference of both tracks when it comes to the stereo imaging. So I'll just play them.
Gunsoww got a crazy mix.
So the reason why I actually let the track play out so long is because there was a specific part in the track where when I was producing it, I added those really interesting slides that go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, whatever, but they go fully panned, meaning that there was nothing in the middle or the opposite side whenever they were being panned, which sounds good even if they're fully panned, but the problem is whenever you're listening to the track on a different, you know, system, maybe in a car or maybe just on a different system compared to yours, it's probably gonna sound like shit just because it's taking those harmonies away from other elements. So in this case, I did what I'm actually gonna show you, and now it doesn't sound fully panned, yet it still keeps, you know, the essence of the idea, and it still sounds good. Now if we listen to the second track, this one doesn't have these kind of slides because they weren't as not necessarily popular back then, but I certainly haven't heard of them back then. So yeah, anyways, here's the track. I didn't even need to continue playing the track because by just pressing play on the melody in the intro, you could see that it was really phasing, like really badly. So if you weren't paying attention to the spectrograms or the fuck are those called, or if you didn't get it, the basic idea is you want to keep your track in the middle field. Not fully in the middle, you don't want to make it mono, but try to keep it as much in the middle triangle thingy, because otherwise it's gonna be phasing, and you don't wanna have phasing issues. The second track, the older one, was phasing really bad, and this actually ties in really well with a problem that I had until I discovered what phasing was. All of my beats were sounding pretty much like shit on a car speaker or on a phone because it was phasing, and I didn't know what was wrong with my mix. I wasn't thinking about the stereo field at all. That's what I'm actually going to show you guys today and actually help you with, you know, fixing this issue. I know this was supposed to be a quick tip, but Jesus Christ. Anyways, So we're gonna be using the second track as our experiment, I guess. I'm gonna start with the free one, actually, and then I'll go over the full-fledged paid version of the VST, which, by the way, you can actually rent on Splice. That's what I'm doing. Anyways, let's play the track again, and I'll actually show you guys what to adjust and how to make sure that your track is in the middle. Now, with the free version, you don't really have options, that many at least. You pretty much only have one slider, but it's still gonna get the job done to some extent compared to not having it at all. So I'll just press play, and I literally have to turn this width slider down, and that's it. But the problem is, with the free version, with, you know, just the imager, you're basically doing what you could do with FL. You know, you have this stereo separation knob, and it's basically, you just turn this to the right so you merge the stereo field, basically. That's basically what this slider is doing. You could also enable the stereo eyes, I guess, and see what it does. So by using the stereo eyes button, you kinda also keep some of the stereo elements. You have to tweak both of them, see which one sounds better. As long as it's in the middle, it's probably good, but you know, you still have to use your ears and actually tweak it depending on how you want it to sound like. You know, trying not to keep it fully mono, because then it sounds weird and weak at the same time. But yeah, it's pretty much this easy to just make sure that your track isn't phasing by using a free plugin. Go into Ozone 9 or Ozone 8, it's pretty much the exact same thing when it comes to the imager. It's a bit more interesting, it's a bit more, I wouldn't say complicated necessarily, but it's a bit more interesting, and it has something that the free version doesn't have, and something that's missing from FL, I guess. Okay, basically what I'm trying to say is, keeping your sub in mono is really important. The last place where you want to be phasing is the sub. The bass, the really low bass, right? The sub frequencies. In imager, in Ozone 8 or Ozone 9, you can just add a point at around, let's say, 200, and you can make everything under 200 or below 200 mono, fully mono. And that's really important. Maybe 100, 200, depending on the track. But otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do it in FL, not as far as I know. I may be wrong, but I don't know. And I don't want to compare FL to Ableton or something, because we all know how that's gonna end. But I'm just saying, as an Ableton user myself, it's really nice to be able to make the sub mono with a built-in plugin. But anyways, if you have Ozone 8, that's not gonna be a problem, or Ozone 9, just Ozone, right? Making sure that the sub is mono is really important, because you don't want the sub to be phasing, because you'll notice it in a car, or if you have a subwoofer, it's gonna sound really bad. Because you only have one subwoofer. You're not gonna have stereo subwoofers, right? So phasing, you know, is gonna sound really weird if you only have one speaker, basically. And it's pretty much the exact same thing in a car. Depending on the sound system, keeping the sub mono, important. Usually, personally, the other bands, I just set them at 1.1 and then 10K, like this. You can play with this depending on how you want your track to sound like, adjusting the stereo field depending on the track. If you have instruments that are really heavy in the middle that you want to take or turn down, yeah, that's fine. But I find that usually a point added to 150, 200, another one at 1.1, and then another one at 10K works best for me. That's up to you. So let's just play the track and see how we're gonna tweak these to make it sound good and make sure that it's not phasing. Look, this is perfect. Honestly, this sounds good, you know, mix aside. This sounds good, and it's not phasing. You can always switch between polar sample and polar level. You can also do this on imager. because you know it might be a kind of scaring you, seeing, you know, how it's so on the sides. But if you look at the polar level, I mean, it's still bad like this, but it's not like it's actually going to the left or to the right field. Or, you know, you can just identify the exact frequency range, seeing where the problems are. You can always add another one and adding a specific range just for those parts. So, you know, you can get creative with it and, you know, just experiment, see what works best. But this is pretty much it. I know it was it was a really long video for what it was supposed to be, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood what I meant and kind of giving you some examples, so you know you can be prepared for whenever you're gonna listen to your mix in a car, or I don't know, just in general, kind of know the context behind what you need to do with a track or whatever. I'm just talking shit right now. I don't know what I'm saying. But that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys managed to learn something from it. And I'm hoping that your mixes are gonna be more clear now, and you're not gonna be having, you know, phasing issues. Also, don't just add the imager to the master. You can add it to like individual layers, to melodies. I add it to my 808s, so you know, think outside the box. But that's gonna do it for this video. As I said in the beginning, if you guys wanna talk to me and interact with me, join my Discord server. You have the link in the description. And also follow me on Instagram, because I wanna have followers. And I'm posting pretty much everything on Instagram before I post it on SoundCloud, YouTube, whatever, just, you know, social media-ing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.